All right. The name is Delman, aka Four Eyes, the Ugly Professor, doing the album review for the new Benny the Butcher and 38 Spesh, Stabbed and Shot Part 2. This album review is done on behalf of Old Heads Network. All right, I have to be honest, I never even heard or was even aware of Part 1 to Stabbed and Shot. And that album dropped in 2018. I didn't even know about this album until like a few weeks before Part 2 dropped. And I heard they was dropping a Part 2. I was like, oh, I never even heard about Part 1. So they did the first joint in like 2018. I don't even think I knew who 38 Spesh was or even Benny the Butcher was at that point. I knew nothing about him. I think I first became aware of Benny the Butcher in 2019. If I'm not mistaken. So I didn't even know about these two artists in 2018. Never heard the album. So when this part 2 came out, like automatically I said, okay, I got to go back and hear the first one eventually. So to this day, I still haven't, but I plan to. So Benny the Butcher and 38 Spesh separately have dropped 3 different projects each. Benny has dropped 3 projects this year, 3 different projects this year. And 38 Spesh has done the same. Benny the Butcher dropped Everybody Can Go, the top of the year, I think in January of this year. I thought the album was a very solid to good album. It got better with each listen. In fact, I think the album is going to make the back end of my top 10 albums of 2024. I think it will. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it will make my top 10 for this year. And then in August, he dropped Summertime Butch, which was Benny the Butcher and the Black Soprano Family. That joint dropped in August. To me, it was just okay. It was a little disappointing. But nevertheless, now you got this joint that's coming out with 38 Spesh. Well, this joint that just dropped with 38 Spesh, should I say. And at 38 Spesh, he dropped 3 projects himself this year. God's Timing with Graph. I reviewed that. I thought that was a very solid album to good album. Surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be. And then he dropped his solo joint called Mother and Gun, which I reviewed also. That was solid to very solid. And now we have this joint. So I'm going to get into some of the standout songs for this album. You got High Stakes. You got another song called Who Really the King. You got another joint called Center Stage, produced by Harry Fraud. That's a banger. You got another joint called Jesus Arms, which might be my favorite song on this album. That song features Busta Rhymes, which was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect to see a feature from Busta Rhymes on this joint. And that was produced by Bink. Bink is one of my favorite producers. You know, he was killing it back in the Rockefeller days, you know, on the Blueprint, first Blueprint joint, Jay-Z joint. Did joints for Freeway, etc., etc. And then you got another joint called Internal Affairs. They have a video for this joint, I believe, featuring OT The Real, produced by Derringer. Love the horns on this joint. Derringer did his thing with the production. I really dig this joint. Then you got Intent to Sell, produced by Street Runner. Then you got another joint called Coke Runs, featuring Ransom. I'm a fan of Ransom, so I really dig this joint. You got another song called Watch List, produced by V-Don. Pretty good joint. Another joint called Power. I think this ends the whole album. It features El Camino and produced by V-Don. I dig it. Good way to end the album. They have several other producers on the album. 38 Spesh doesn't produce anything on here, I don't believe. And I dig most of the songs on the album. There were some joints that I thought were just okay, but nothing bad. You had some joints I was like, it's okay. Don't know if I would consistently listen to these songs that I thought that were just okay, but most of the album I dig. So it's pretty consistent. Not really nothing I can say that's like bad from a song standpoint. And it's braggadocious, drug dealer rap, glorious street talk, and they do it at a high level. I would say it's high level braggadocious drug dealer rap. That's what it is. That's what you expect from these guys. And they don't, stray from their formula. It works, so why totally switch up and do anything else? And I would give this a B minus. It's not great by any means, but it's definitely worth getting, and listen, give it a listen, put it in your rotation. And that's it. I'm done. Subscribe to the channel, like and all that good shit. And I'm out.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.